ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 17 coverage. We've got our third game coming up here. Na'Vi, once again, now going to be facing off against Virtus.pro. Interestingly enough, our day has sort of started off with this mini three-team round-robin between next.kz, Virtus.pro, and Na'Vi. And, well, so far, Na'Vi looking hot, and we'll see how they fare against the mighty Virtus.pro coming up here. I am Zyori, now once again joined by Synderin, and I think he may be sounding just a little bit better now that we've switched from Skype to TeamSpeak. Synderin, my friend, how are you feeling here coming into Game 3? And not off to a good start here.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Now we're off to a good start.
Whew.
I just need to remember to unmute my microphone and everything. Alright, yeah, so I hope we avoid sound problems now. It was a little bit shaky on Skype, but hopefully this is very good. At least so far, it's been looking good. Yeah, I guess this is like you said, a mini three-team tournament kind of, and if everything goes the way it has gone so far, then Na'Vi will... Wait a second, no, both Na'Vi and Virtus.pro have won, so can't really say anything about this one so far. next.kz 0-2 today, Na'Vi and Virtus.pro both 1-0, so one of them is going to go home with a loss today, and I have to say, based on the last game, I think we should say Na'Vi are the favorites, even though in terms of the standings in the tournament right now, Virtus.pro are in a better position, but they've also played more games, and the OD is definitely not going to be a factor this time. I think Na'Vi realizes that Virtus.pro really value having that OD in the mid lane very highly, and they have chosen to remove this, whereas Virtus.pro actually banning out both Alchemist and Elder Titan, two heroes that Na'Vi did have in the previous game. So we're going to see some different heroes now. The 4 heroes banned, 3 of them were picked in the first phase in the last game, I believe.
Yes. That is exactly right, and all 4 very powerful heroes. They have, most of them actually kind of been the flavor of the week, and I'm sort of glad that OD has kind of come back in style. Following 6.79 when they nerfed his Essence Aura and Tranquil Boots duo, it seemed everyone overreacted a bit, and now OD's been coming back, especially during MLG Columbus. That seemed to be the sign when the flashes came on and everyone realized again, oh wait, OD still is this unbelievably powerful hero if left unchecked. Maybe we should start banning him out again, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And with that, a lot of scary support still left in the pool. Na'Vi going to first pick Visage, a hero that truly needs no introduction, and Virtus.pro going to go ahead and grab themselves the mighty Crystal Maiden.
The mighty Crystal Maiden. Not exactly the word I would use for
She is mighty, man.
Well, fair enough. If that's mighty, then a lot of heroes are mighty, I guess.
Alright, she's mighty in the realm of supports. Maybe I should further qualify.
It's like saying the fast Crystal Maiden.
Yes,
or the Slim Pudge. But
fast, I don't know.
Maiden and Nature's Prophet. Actually, Nature's Prophet we haven't seen so far today. I'm not sure if it was banned out or if the team's just in favorite, or am I imagining things? Have we had Prophet so far? No, we haven't.
We have not had a Nature's Prophet. If he was banned, that part is eluding my memory as well.
But first 2 picks for Virtus.pro, it's going to be one of them, and already this looks like Virtus.pro once again might be setting up. I mean, it's a little bit too early to read too much into it, but I think when you see Na'Vi pick up a Visage, you're not really too big of a fan of running an aggressive trial lane against them. So might be putting the Prophet in an offlane position already would be a reasonable assumption to make here.
Yeah, and well, Virtus.pro, they could transition into a really push-intensive lineup. I mean, Pugna not banned out here could be an option depending on this next banning phase. And wow, Na'Vi going to go ahead and second pick the Luna. Very confident in the power of Havos farming Luna. It did work for him last game, but I don't know. Luna second pick. In general, are you a fan?
Not sure.
I
have a hard time. I have a hard time placing Luna in terms of draft priority right now. If you remember when she got patched so that the glaives could bounce back between targets, like in Dota 1, she was like a first pick in China instantly after that. And then the European and Western scene in general kind of caught on and started picking Luna early, and then it faded into a 3rd, 4th pick, and sometimes 5th pick, and now it's kind of back in that situation where it's, depending on the situation, sometimes gets picked highly. The thing about the pick from Na'Vi here is that when you pick it as the last hero in the first phase, you get to ban out counters, and that's really important to remember, is that it's not just a first phase pick here from Na'Vi, but they pick it in a position where they can open up to make it even better for Luna. They know they have a really strong lane support, and they can ban out the Lifestealer, who generally fares very well against Luna. Innate magic immunity, as well as hardcore single target damage dealer. So in this scenario, I can totally agree with picking it as a second pick.
Yeah, and they do ban out Doom as well, another hero that works pretty well against the Luna. The only reason, I think you're right about this, as a second pick here, banning out some of the counters does make it a little bit more appealing. But Luna, one of those heroes that just needs a lot of room early on, and we've seen some games where an early Luna pick can translate into a team that drafts around trying to pressure Luna early on, and if she starts to fall off, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to recover if she doesn't have that kind of level advantage, doesn't get off to a good start. She does have okay recovery mechanisms with those what are the bouncy glaives actually called? The moon glaives. That's it. Bouncy glaive seems like a more appropriate descriptor. those ancient stacks, it does get a little bit easier for her, but yeah, I guess Na'Vi very confident that Visage will be able to open up that room needed for her to get a decent start.
Yeah, and with the Doom ban out from Na'Vi as well, just once again, reading, it seems like today Virtus Pro in both games, Doom has been banned against them. next.kz did it in the first phase, or am I imagining things again now? Which game did next.kz had Doom against Virtus Pro. They first picked against Virtus. Yes. That's how it was.
That's correct.
So it's really been given priority, and Na'Vi, I'm not sure if they're banning it just as a targeted ban to Virtus Pro, or if they're mainly concerned with how Doom can deal with a Luna. But they have chosen to take that one out. And with Virtus Pro banning out the Chen, I was immediately thinking, are they going to get the Enchantress themselves? Because they banned out both Enigma and Chen, which would be the two other high-priority jungling heroes right now. But they're not taking the Enchantress so far, at least. And
yeah,
I'm not sure. I think it would be a really good pickup for Na'Vi to get the Enchantress.
Yeah, obviously one of Puppy's signature heroes. If they don't grab it here, I wouldn't be surprised to see Na'Vi just third pick it. The question is, does Virtus Pro have a very skilled Enchantress player? I mean, they have a lot of skilled players, but I'm struggling to recall if they have someone that is very competent with the Enchantress. But I guess it's a moot point here as they go with a third pick, Ogre Magi. A nice change of pace here.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that's really a strange time to pick an Ogre. This is a hero you can get as fifth pick.
Yep.
But I guess the reasoning behind this is that they don't want to show their hand. So you always have to think in the draft with every pick you give away intel. And picking Ogre early on, this cloaks up their carry and it cloaks up their mid. We're going to have to expect that Nature's Prophet is a side lane solo. And when you pick an Ogre Magi, your aggressive tri-lane potential, not really that good. He's not too strong of a tri-laner, to be honest. But has a decent stun, but then he's melee. There's the Enchantress, as expected. But they will probably, when you go for an Ogre like this, you're aiming towards a carry who can use Bloodlust. Else, I simply feel like there's better choices. It's what makes Ogre Magi a strong support in some cases, is the Bloodlust. We've seen Alliance played with Lone Druid, we've seen it played with Mirana, and we've seen it played with Morphling. These three heroes tend to sometimes not get BKB. If you get BKB, you break the Bloodlust, regardless of like what you try. You can't have them running at the same time, so I'm expecting a Lone Druid or a Morphling to come out from Virtus Pro. I know Illidan has liked to play Morphling in the past. It's actually pretty good here as well. Na'Vi not really sitting on any counters so far. In terms of sort of instant stuns, hexes, or hardcore nukes. They don't really have that, so it's an option for Virtus.
Absolutely. That is one thing that the Na'Vi draft is lacking right now. True crowd controls. Yeah, they've got some good slows. They've got a mini stun from Luna. They've got the little bit of crowd control that Enchantress can bring to the table pending what creep she has, whether it's a Centaur or a Dark Troll. But all in all, really lacking in the CC department. And Virtus Pro are off to a good start on that front. They've got Frostbite for a semi-CC. They've got the Sprout. And, of course, the stun from Ogre Magi. And it looks like they're going to pair it with the Weaver instead.
That's a good pick as well. And also a hero that doesn't necessarily need a BKB, so can use the Bloodlust. A little less relevant on that hero, I would say, because of the way Shukuchi works. You already have max movement speed steroid, you could say, so the Bloodlust move speed not that important, but attack speed, always a nice thing to have for Weaver. Obviously Geminate attack is limited in terms of how many times you can proc it. It's a cooldown ability, not a chance one, but still right clicks in between do a lot of damage. And well, one concern for Virtus Pro, you could say, is that with this Bounty Hunter pickup, Na'Vi is looking to take it to them, and they don't really have tanky heroes apart from Ogre. All the other heroes are really going to die from a Shuriken Toss, a Lucent Beam, and a Soul Assumption. That's going to kill the other heroes. So I'm really curious to see what Virtus Pro's last pick is, because I feel like I can't completely see what exactly their plan is right now. They have good split push, but then again, Na'Vi, good team fight. In my opinion, even without disables, they still have really strong heroes for teamfight. Visage and Luna, really strong in that regard, and good laning phase as well. So
Yeah.
Banning out the Quap, even.
A little bit surprised. I would have thought Puck would be the go-to ban here for Virtus Pro, and that would be my best guess for the mid choice for Na'Vi. Of course, one of Dendi's signature heroes would give them some valuable nuke, some good bit of crowd control as well, and I think if they, as you mentioned, want to take the fight to Virtus Pro, Puck is a prime choice to achieve those goals.
Yeah, it could definitely have been a good pick for Na'Vi as well, but I think Virtus Pro are just thinking, okay, we're worried about the burst. Yeah. We only have one targeted stun, which is Ogre Magi. Frostbite as well, pretty good against Queen of Pain actually, but still, might be worried about just losing their heroes too fast simply. So gonna ban out a big AoE burst hero in that Queen of Pain, and maybe also showing a little bit that they want to have a mid hero who is particularly weak against Queen of Pain, which is why Na'Vi ban out the Dragon Knight. And this might have been Virtus Pro's last pick actually. I think it would have been a really smart pick, and Na'Vi immediately figuring it out.
Yeah. Timbersaw is an option here. That's a reasonably tanky mid-choice, but not going to have that same level of crowd control that Dragon Knight brings to the table. I do agree. I think that was a smart last ban, but just a couple seconds left. Virtus Pro going to have to get executive here, and they're going to grab the Storm Spirit.
Oh, that's good as well.
Yeah.
That's really good here. Nice pickup from them. No counter. Like we said, lack of disable. Storm Spirit last pick is like a thing you always need to keep in mind, and Virtus Pro saving the best for last here. I think this was the best pick in their draft so far, and if God gets off to a good start, he could really roll in this game.
Yep, absolutely. Now, Puck's still going to be an option here for Na'Vi. Puck does fare pretty well against the Storm Spirit in the mid lane, especially if he can get a very small experience advantage, hit that level 6 mark before the Storm Spirit. We've seen that Dream Coil come out and, well, shut down the Storm Spirit before Ball Lightning becomes a reality. That is something we've seen a time or two in the past. But still a couple of options here for Na'Vi. They could also take the Timbersaw for themselves if that's something that they're interested in.
Yeah, it is the puck. Well called. Exactly. Very well done. Yeah. I also think this is one of the best picks they could get, if not the best. Like you said, good in the lane, good against Weaver. They were lacking some disable, now they have Dream Coil. The silence is going to be very useful as well, obviously. So, nice last pickup for Na'Vi as well. And I'm curious to see the laning stage, because Virtus, to me, seems pretty obvious what they're going to do, and Na'Vi will probably expect that. So, one thing that's always scary with Storm is getting level 6, and it's actually really hard in the mid if you're playing against a team with Enchantress and Bounty Hunter. Because it's very, very difficult to expect a one-on-one lane, and it won't happen for God.
Yeah.
Na'Vi will be putting pressure on him, so maybe Virtus Pro could look to put different lanes, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it does not look like it at face value, but that is a thing we've seen many a time, especially recently. Storm in that solo safe lane has been a little bit more popular to secure that early bit of farm and the early levels. That's really that level 6 mark for Storm Spirit. If you can grab a kill on him before he hits 6, that's kind of where the money's at. But alas, it looks like God is going to be rotating towards that mid lane. And on the side of Virtus Pro, they do have Illidan playing on the Weaver here, headed up for that top lane. Looks like they will do a long lane, tri-lane. JOTM will be supporting on the Ogre Magi, and Arzart once again going to be on the Crystal Maiden here. That means Light of Heaven is actually going to be solo safe lane here on the Nature's Prophet. Now, of course, on the dire side, we do have the fan favorites, Team Na'Vi, and they will be doing, well, a safe lane, sort of tri-lane. Puppy going to be in the jungle here on the Enchantress, sprinking around. We've got Havos going to be on the hard farming Luna, going to be supported by Kuroki in lane on the Visage. Of course, it will be Dendi in the mid on his signature Puck. And last but not least, Funnick in that off lane playing on the mighty Bounty Hunter. Double damage rune going to spawn down bottom, and it looks like Funnick may be the one to grab it up. He already ran down to that bottom lane and did throw a ward down in the middle of the Radiant jungle. So he's looking for any and all opportunities to get aggressive perhaps in this early game.
And I have to say, at first glance, maybe Virtus Pro's laning is going to be really hard, because this tri-lane up top, like I said, Ogre, not the best early game hero. His stun is pretty good, it's a 1.5 second stun, but it's a 12-second cooldown with 80 damage, and after that he's melee, in comparison to a Crystal Maiden who has a 140 damage nuke and is ranged. So she has a little bit more to bring to the table, but what's nice about this is that they put pressure up top, so probably Puppy will have to help the top lane, and that means God might get his one-on-one. Funnick also can't afford to leave bottom because he has a one-on-one lane against the Nature's Prophet. So this might actually be really smart, and the Nature's Prophet can TP top and help them in case a fight breaks out. So I really like this choice from Virtus Pro, and I think right now the key hero in this game is going to be Storm Spirit, so whatever makes this a good game for him is really a good decision in my opinion.
Yeah, and Dendi already off to a good start, sitting 4-1 against the 2-1 Storm Spirit. We see Dendi harassing him back pretty aggressively here, but still a reasonably even exchange. Dendi going a pretty classic opener here, Null Talisman, 2 tangos pulled with a healing solve, and God going to go the 3 branches with some pulled tangos, so going a little bit more of a less regen intensive build, he is going to get that bottle out nice and quick. Already on the way via the courier. Dendy still doesn't have his bottle quite on the way. So, well, bottle advantage here, going the way of God at least to start things off.
Yeah, and if he plays this lane smart on the Storm Spirit and has the space, which we always need to keep in mind, he has to keep half an eye on the Enchantress all the time. But top lane actually, Jottam is going to get opened on. Yep. Oh. Nice Frostbite on the Centaur.
But might not be enough. The Hellbear Smasher going to come in with the Thunderclap. That'll be the end of the Ogre. And will be the first kill on the board. KuroKy going to grab it on that Visage, but a nice rotation from Puppey. Kind of an awkward engage. He did smoke in to the lane and then got revealed sort of in the lane. And if he had been a little bit more sneaky about it, maybe been able to get that easy stun with the Centaur. It's still nice Frostbite from Arzard. Unfortunately, just not enough to keep the Ogre alive. And, well, Na'Vi going to be off to a good start here. Going to put some momentum the way of their tri-lane, and now maybe Puppey will have that option to rotate to mid next if he grabs another set of aggressive creeps.
Yeah, the one thing about these kills is that I feel like Na'Vi is under pressure to create these kills, because Host is not finding farm. He has 3 CS at 3 minutes, and
wow.
The Weaver has 12, and it's because the lane supports are there. Virtus Pro are playing 3 heroes on the lane, so Luna can't really... She's a short-range hero, so if she tries to get farm, she's going to get stunned, frostbitten, take a Geminate attack as well as a Shukuchi, and there's even a Crystal Nova. Arzard has gone for both nukes on level 2, which is much more common in an aggressive trial lane situation than in an easy lane one where you can use the aura to farm the jungle.
Right.
But here, it's actually really hard for Havost to find farm, so Puppey has a lot of work to do for his top laner because, well...
Yeah.
Havost isn't getting a single CS right now without Lucent Beam. He's using that to farm right now, actually.
Yeah, and this is some of that space that I was talking about with Luna as a second pick. Virtus Pro did a good job drafting around how to put pressure on this lane, and so far they're really shutting this Luna down. I mean, I'm kind of marveling at the lack of farm here by Havost. 5-0 against the 17-6 Weaver, who is the last hit leader in this match right now. So we'll keep tabs on this top lane, but Havost just going to have to retreat into the jungle here. Absolutely no way that he can farm the lane control. Pretty spot on from Virtus Pro, at least it was until this pull from KuroKy. Now they'll get a little bit of lane control back and maybe open up a little bit of space for Havost, but he still has a good bit of catching up to do. In the bottom lane, looks like the offlaner is having a pretty comparable time in farm. Bounty Hunter now tangoing with that last hit leader spot, 19-5 against the 16-2 Nature's Prophet. So a pretty even exchange. And in the mid, it looks like a pretty even matchup as well. God sitting 19-3, Puck sitting 16-6 as they start to exchange with one another. Electric Vortex comes out, and Dendy will hop to the orb. Fortunately, not going to find the rune he was looking for. It is going to spawn bottom. It will be a haste picked up by Funnick.
God's in trouble.
Uh-oh. Funnick is only level 5, not going to have track, but God definitely going to be in a bit of trouble here. He is only level 5 himself, so Funnick just going to be able to chase him down. There's the Shuriken. It is level 3 at the moment, and this may be a kill coming out onto God. Sprout comes from Light of Heaven. Nice support from that Nature's Prophet, though the haste rune's still going to be on for a bit longer. God not out of the clear yet. Not enough mana for the Shuriken. No bottle charges. He is going to dive the tower. God in big trouble still. Funnick maybe overcommitting. The Sprout comes out. He's going to pay with his life, but he does secure the kill on the mid hero. A worthy exchange offlaner for mid. It is a 1-for-1 when it's all said and done.
I actually think Funnick could have got away with that. He tanked the first full Sprout from Light of Heaven. He had a Tango that he still has in his inventory, and when he has the haste rune like that, he can just Tango out of the Sprout and hunt down God there. So he still gets the kill and almost level 6, but Light of Heaven getting the kill in the end means he's now level 6.5, so he's ahead on this offlane and going to put a lot of pressure up top, actually. KuroKy blown away by a high damage Wrath of Nature.
God in trouble as well. You were looking top, I was looking mid, and at least we both caught one of the kills. Funnick right away rotating to mid upon his revival, and Puck going to burn the Dream Coil. That's going to be the end of God. They're going to grab another kill on him before he hits level 6. Very smartly done. Now, on the top lane, I did miss it, and you're going to have to give us a little bit of a recap here.
KuroKy got caught. KuroKy got blown apart by Wrath of Nature. That's the recap.
All right, fair enough.
Now Funnick, hanging around behind Light of Heaven, he might actually be able to do this alone.
Yeah,
if he plays this smart.
Did go the phase boots here. There's the track, the Shuriken to start things off, and he's going to continue to pursue. He still has that Tango, so if Sprout comes out, he will be able to hop through it, and especially if Light of Heaven tries to use it to port out, it doesn't matter. Vision's still going to come about, and there's the Sprout. Doesn't matter, though. Will eat the Tango to get out, but the Shuriken going to be enough. An easy kill coming out for Funnick, and of course that was a track kill as well. All the while in the mid, God not out of the clear yet. He's still only level 5. Dendy going to hop forward, and Puppey going to be here as well. Nature's Intendance, and an Electric Vortex comes out on Dendy. It looks like he'll be able to survive to tell the tale. kill. God gonna fall for a third time before hitting level 6. Na'Vi are just relentless here in the mid. Now, while all that was happening, they did grab a kill on the Luna in the top lane, so Weaver did fancy himself another kill, but this Storm Spirit has been effectively shut down.
Yeah, it's what Na'Vi needed to do, and it's what they've done. It's been really good rotation. If they even get his tower now, this is like... It's really hard for Storm Spirit in this game, to be fair. It's not like God is making some sort of stupid mistakes. He's just effectively getting locked down really hard. Na'Vi is putting so much emphasis on this lane, and they're apparently willing to sacrifice Havost for it. They're like, okay, Havost isn't getting anything. It's okay if Storm isn't either. And Havost 12 CS at 7 minutes, how often do you see that? Not very often. But now he gets some space. He's going to take the bottom lane because Funnick, he got out of the bottom lane what he needed. He's now almost level 8 at 7 minutes on an offlaner. Holy, that's impressive. And yeah, that opens up for Havost. So game plan from Na'Vi, well executed so far.
Yep.
And now they even get God again.
They're going to catch him. Oh, no, that Dream Coil comes out. God is now level 6, but they'll be able to finish him off. Another track kill coming the way of Na'Vi. It was looking a little bit grim for Dendi, but he was able to hop backwards, compliments of that illusory orb, and sip up that bottle to turn it around onto God. So absolutely right, Na'Vi going to find themselves yet another kill. The only thing they have to really worry about here is this Weaver. Illidan off to a great start. He is number 2 on the net worth chart, just slightly behind that Bounty Hunter. 1-0-1 on the KDA chart. So Weaver will be a force to be reckoned with. Did go Power Treads first and does have a Bracer. Probably going to be going that Power Treads Drum of Endurance opener. But Kuroki is holding this top lane.
Havost is in very much trouble here.
Oh, yeah, here it is. God going to ball lightning forward. Electric Vortex. God committing very hard for this. Havost going to survive for now. Down goes the Storm Spirit as Dendi comes in. Of course, it will cost him Havost, but probably going to cost Light of Heaven his life as well. Oh, man, a 2-for-1. They had to commit a lot to finish off that Luna. They do keep him down, but God and Nature's Prophet both going to fall.
Yeah, he lost so much mana on that jump that he actually didn't have the mana he needed to jump again, and gets to pay, like you said. Good TPN from Dendi as well, gets the kill on Light of Heaven, and a little bit of mistiming here from Virtus.pro. I think that could have gone a little more smoothly for them, but at the same time, at least they did get the kill they wanted, like you said. And now Arsart, oh man, it's not funny being level 4 CM against a Bounty Hunter level 8.
Yeah.
One more hit and then Shuri toss.
Easy kill. A hasted Bounty Hunter, no less, gonna make for an extra easy kill for Arsart. No way you're surviving that one.
It's looking good right now for Na'Vi. They're actually taking a really commanding lead. Even though Luna is completely sacked, they're ahead by 7,500 XP.
Yeah. A lot of
How is that even possible?
Those track kills starting to add up. That doesn't help so much in XP, but Bounty Hunter is really off to the races here. Number 1 on net worth and 6-1, so he has just picked up so much momentum. In the mid lane here, same story, different chapter as God gets dropped like he's hot. Not even enough time to react. They basically drop him in the duration of that waning rift. All the while on the bottom of Host gonna get picked again.
This game is 2 witch hunters.
Seriously.
Hunters. 2 witch hunts, really. God and Havost are just being locked down so hard by each team respectively, but Na'Vi are getting way more out of it.
Absolutely. 11-5 here at the 9.5-minute mark. Havost 0-3, God is 0-6, so that's pretty easy math right there. They have been shutting down that Storm Spirit much more effectively. Yeah, Puck gonna now have that Blink Dagger here at the 9.5-minute mark. Very timely. And he's gonna show it off in the bottom lane. Dendi and Funnick seem to be the Doom Squad here as they're gonna grab yet another kill. Weaver gonna get melted as they do deny that bottom tier 1 tower. Will be the second tower to fall as that mid tier 1 did fall on the side of Virtus.pro, but Na'Vi will secure a deny. So, and again, they grab a very valuable kill on that Weaver, the leading farmer on Virtus.pro. And I did see a Hand of Midas come out. It is on Puppey. The Enchantress did go for a Hand of Midas first, actually. Brown boots straight into Midas. So Puppey going to be farming away here.
Yeah, of course that explains a little bit of why they're as far ahead as they are, but that can only explain about 1,000 of the XP, and or not even, maybe 500 of the XP and gold lead Na'Vi has right now at this point. They're just really completely out-leveling. It's the supports in particular that Virtus.pro are struggling on, because when you run an aggressive trial lane like this with the supports, if they don't accomplish too much on the lane, they're basically sharing the experience with a Weaver, and they're not getting pulling experience, and they didn't get too much out of the lane, so they're really falling behind here.
Yeah, both of them level 5, yet to hit that level 6 mark. 2 heroes, Ogre and Crystal Maiden. Level 6 isn't that crucial point quite as much as someone like a Visage who is level 8, but still, yeah, 8-8 on the side of Na'Vi supports and 5-5 on the side of Virtus.pro. That is definitely one of the largest disparities so far here in this matchup.
All of Na'Vi's heroes are higher level than the solo mid-storm.
Yeah, oh man, that is a scary
Jesus,
statistic. That is not too often you see that kind of stuff come out onto the field. But looks like we could have a team fight brewing up top here. Na'Vi do have 4, as do Virtus Pro. They've got Dendi in the mid, and down in the bottom, Nature's Prophet is farming away, and both of them will be able to port up. There is a Tier 1 available for Na'Vi. Dendi does not have a TP scroll, though, so not going to be able to get to that fight too quickly, though still not too far away. And, of course, Nature's Prophet, well, that teleport makes for an easy vehicle to make it to the top lane. But Na'Vi just kind of slow pushing here. They're taking their time, and here as they are going to hop forward. They did pop that buckler, and God going to hop in. He is going to go for Havost. Havost going to be the first to fall, but Crystal Maiden gets dropped in a pretty timely fashion. God going to pay with his life. Now Na'Vi going to be on the back foot a bit. Uh-oh, God going to buy back here. Illidan going to venture way too far forward. Sentry Ward is down. They'll secure that kill. God going to ball lightning forward. He wants Kuroki. He's going to be able to get him. Will he be able to make an escape is the real question. Now he's going to be out of mana. It's looking like this could be a dieback for God. Dendi going to sip that bottle. He will hop forward. Enough mana to scoot to that high ground. Now God going to sip the bottle once again, but he's in no man's land. He's got nowhere to go. The Visage Familiar is going to be right on top. That one last impetus going to finish him off. And God going to get another trip back to the grave. Not so sure if that was a worthy buyback. Yeah, he got a kill on Visage, but back-to-back deaths, that's going to make him now 1-8-3 here at the 12.5-minute mark.
Yeah, it's funny how I said before the game started that Storm is a really good pick, and I actually stand by it, because draft-wise it would have been really good, but the one weakness the hero had in the draft is the one Na'Vi just exploited to pieces, is that he was fragile in mid, and they had heroes that could move for it. Bounty Hunter and Enchantress have just made this game a living hell for God, who could have actually had him here, but once you get countered this hard, getting back into the game is just almost impossible. When you're 0-6 in your lane, I don't think he even left his lane when he was 0-6. He didn't get killed in a fight or anything. He just got ganked, and then ganked again.
Yeah, well, the first one was when he was chased down by the Bounty Hunter with a haste, but yeah, not intentionally leaving the lane, really just trying to run across the map to safety. But, I mean, just look at the net worth chart. Right now, God is in the 8th position at 1.9k. I mean, that is just dismal. It's that's the lowest I've ever seen God's net worth here at this juncture, I think. Very A-characteristic. Right now, he's just got Boots of Speed, Bottle, Magic Wand. That's all he has to his name besides the 2 TP scrolls.
Yeah. There's the most important item right now. Tries to get out of ganks. Oh, here we go. Dendi's going to get spotted out. This could be a really high priority kill. They are going to get it. Ding, ding. Jackpot. Got him. The J is for jackpot.
And Funnick needs to be a little careful here. He's standing right on top of a sentry. And they are going to detect him out here. Illidan going to come by. Track going to come out onto the Weaver. There's a stun. JOTM going to throw the slow... What's that? Ignite. That's what it's called. Support comes in here. The Nature's Attendant is going to try and keep Funnick alive. They're going to continue to pursue. God going to hop forward. They will be able to finish him off. Weaver going to grab that one last hit. Now Puppy going to turn in about face. They will make it back to this Tier 1 tower in the mid. And Puppy and Havost should be just fine. Though Virtus Pro are all grouped up. They've got a 5-man team here in the mid. And it looks like they do want to start pressuring some towers. This Tier 1 in the mid lane in particular. They do have those Treants here in the front lines, as well as a siege creep. So this tower probably going to fall. Glyph does come out from Na'Vi, and they may want to make a hold. A port in from Dendi, who has just recently revived. And, well, Dendi on the field and a Glyph going to be enough to repel the forces of Virtus Pro. They are not going to overcommit here.
Yeah, they made the right decision getting out of that. That would have been a big mistake staying. Dendi would have landed a 3 or 4-man coil on that probably, because they were really stacked up to push that tower, and it's hard to get a smart position for them around this middle lane area where Na'Vi can initiate from different angles, and yeah, they had to get out of that. They got 2 kills, which is a really big difference for them. It gives God his treads. Yeah, it's going to be treads, so he finally picks up some sort of item. But at the same time, Kuroki actually finishes a mechanism on the Visage 15 minutes in, together with his treads, so he's looking really, really strong. Yeah, this Visage has been able to pick up a good bit of farm. Once they pulled that rotation and put Havost in the bottom lane, Kuroki was just soaking up the solo farm up top, and that has translated into a very well-timed mech, and a big disparity as well. No mech even in the works for Virtus Pro, so for these upcoming team fights, that will give Na'Vi a nice little advantage here. And they are slowly chipping away at Roshan. Oh, not again, oh, God in trouble here. He is going to make it out, but Funnick trying to pursue, looking for that interrupt, didn't have the cooldown anyhow for the toss. So God will survive to tell the tale, but it's probably going to cost them. Roshan, Virtus Pro do find a positive, at least take out that top Tier 1 tower for a little bit of a gold boost, but this will be an uncontested Rosh going the way of Na'Vi, and an Aegis in the inventory of Havost. So now he is going to at least be able to come back to life when they focus him down in these team fights. And he's going to get picked up
compliments of that mech. So, Na'Vi, they are ready. They want to take another team fight here, it would seem.
I don't think I've ever seen a host this poor at 16 minutes, but it's the part of the strategy. It's what they sacrificed to completely win 2 other lanes. Like the mid and bottom lane were essentially the bottom lane was kind of even, but the mid lane was a complete stomp. So he's got a bracer and treads at 16 minutes, which is like nothing, but it doesn't really matter. And I feel like this game is actually a really good example of showcasing why the carry doesn't necessarily need to win. It's about your team winning. And a lot of teams focus so hard on getting their carry a good start that they forget about the other lanes. But Na'Vi really realized that if 2 of your solos get rolling, you can get it back up. You can catch up with the 3rd. And the starts they gave Dendi and Funnick just makes the whole map a living nightmare for Virtus.pro right now.
Yeah. And there is no Helm of the Dominator out, but still a little bit surprised to see that Na'Vi have not been using their Ancients to any avail here. They could have been stacking it, and that could be a nice bit of recovery farm for Havost. Of course, one thing that Aluna does bring to the table is clearing those Ancient stacks, but not a map tool that Na'Vi have chosen to utilize quite yet. So we'll see if that's something they want to do. Bounty Hunter going to grab himself a Perseverance, an interesting choice. Is Funnick going for a Lincoln's here? I guess so. I can't imagine what else it would be. Certainly not going to be a Battle Fury.
Or is it?
Or is it? That's
the classic pub build. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, Funnick, that's really overconfident here. He could be losing his life for this. No ding-ding.
Yep.
And the TP's going to get cancelled. Yeah,
gem on Arzart here, so that will make for an easy kill. But alas, Funnick knows that they have a gem, so he will be a bit more careful in the future. And at least all that attention will translate to Na'Vi grabbing a top tier 1 tower kill, so I guess it wasn't a death for nothing. They will be able to grab a small gold boost, though. Virtus.pro grouping up about the bottom lane. That bottom tier 1 has already been denied, but they are going to press forward to try and take out this tier 2. Na'Vi going to do the same. Glyph going to come out from Virtus.pro to try and slow him down a bit. Probably just going to end up a tier 2 for tier 2 exchange. And Virtus.pro not going to go back to defend.
Really fast.
Yeah, they're pushing very quickly here, and they're just going to press forward into the tier 3, it looks like. Now Na'Vi going to be the ones forced to make an executive decision. Dendi going to port back. The port's going to come, and right away Virtus.pro move out of the base. Still just going to end up being a 2 for 2, tier 2 for tier 2 exchange, pardon me, as it does go down. God going to hop forward here. Havost almost able to port out, but will get interrupted. Now God needs to actually be a little bit careful here. He's going to be totally out of mana. Havost does have an Eclipse available, but not going to overcommit. He will back out. Meanwhile, in the top lane here, Puppey and Dendi going up against Illidan and JOTM. The Dream Coil comes. JOTM taking a lot of damage. He will fall, and Enchantress going to finish him off. Now Illidan going to be forced to turn in about face. Impetus going to come in. We'll start chipping away at him, but Shukuchi will ensure his survival as he does head to the safe Radiant jungle. So they grab basically a free kill on the Ogre after exchanging tier 2 towers in the top and bottom lanes respectively.
Yeah, I still think Virtus.pro has actually done a really good job the last 5 minutes. Considering the situation they were in, they've actually managed to hold the game pretty even. They're still about 6,000 gold behind and the experience about 8 or 9k, but it's stalling out. It's not moving in the favor of Na'Vi, and Havost actually picks up a Midas of all things now to try and make a comeback in this game. That's very unusual.
Recovery Midas here.
Recovery Midas. We've seen it before, but it's not. Yeah. It's not something I would expect in this scenario, but
certainly not.
On the other hand, the 4 other heroes in Na'Vi are so strong right now that they don't need Havost to have items, so he can become a big player later on. So I can understand this decision.
Yeah. Necronomicon is now out on the Nature's Prophet, so he's going to take out that tier 1 tower in the mid lane. It is actually a level 3 Necronomicon now, so he has been leveling that bad boy up. And, well, going to have that detection as well as a bit more of pushing power, so sort of a multifaceted smart item choice here to try and deal with the efforts of that Bounty Hunter, because he has been a thorn in their side throughout this match. Tower exchanging all over the place as Na'Vi do group up in the bottom and take out that tier 1. Total tower count now is going to be at a deadlock. It will be 4 to 4. Tier 2 is still standing in the mid lane for both sides, and we see 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom lane as well. And maybe not for long, as Na'Vi still continuing to press forward, and Virtus.pro looking like they want to do the same, as they do have all 5 stationed about the dire jungle, finding places to get aggressive here. And I think in sort of this break-even game, this does benefit Virtus.pro a little bit more, but up in the top, Puppey in a little bit of trouble. God does hop forward, and there's going to be the first stun from the Ogre. Puppey with the Nature's Intendants out, now going to be stuck inside of the Sprout. Support comes. Dendi going to be up here. They'll be able to finish off the Crystal Maiden. Down goes the Storm Spirit as well. Nature's Prophet to fall shortly after. The Aegis does get burned, but now it could be trouble for the Weaver. 1 or 2 more auto attacks going to be enough. Bounty Hunter going to follow him all the way down with that Shuriken. and it will be basically a 2 for 4. The Aegis gets popped, ends up being a 1 for 4. Ogre, the only one to survive, as it looks like he did port out. A great hold from Na'Vi and a good defense. Pretty big commitment there for that Enchantress kill.
Yeah, and it's just such an intelligent play from Puppy here. If you noticed how the fight broke out, he TP'd in to defend the tower, and he knew Virtus.pro was there. Because it was Puppy against creeps, he was full health, and he used his Nature's Attendants right after he ported in. So he was like, alright guys, I'm here alone. I know you're around. If you want to try, you can try. And then they tried. And then Na'Vi's supports came in. So he actually preemptively cast it. He cast it knowing that Virtus.pro might go on him, and then when they did, he was like, I can't believe it. This is too good to be true. Dendi gets a 4-man silence, a 2-man coil, perfect setup, and they get a 4 for 2 fight. Actually 4 for 1, because Host had the Aegis, so...
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing bait. And I'm a little surprised that Virtus.pro took it, but at the same time, in a way, they have to try this. Because if they don't take the openings that are given to them, then I don't see them getting in a better position than they are right now.
Yeah, I think maybe at first glance they were hoping they could burst down Puppy before the support would get there, but not quite doing the math on that one, I guess you could say. Havos going to be in some trouble, though. He's just trying to farm in the jungle, and they're going to make his life that much more difficult. God going to start it off with an Electric Vortex. The jackpot going to ding, as you've liked to say, and that will be another easy kill on the Luna as Havos tries to make some recovery. Poor Havos. I guess God giving him a taste of Na'Vi's own medicine here, but got to be a little bit frustrated just getting constantly picked on. I mean, that was a bit of a risky play from Virtus.pro. If you look at their coverage, they have no wards up in the jungle. They didn't have a lot of intel about where Na'Vi were, and they just went for it. They rolled the dice, and they did, well, benefit as they got another free kill. On to the mighty Luna. Bounty Hunter now going to have himself that Lincoln Sphere we were talking about, and he is in hot pursuit of the Ogre Magi. Going to be another track kill coming the way of Na'Vi. Down he goes. That Lincoln's going to get popped, and that'll be the end of the Ogre.
Yeah, and when you see how many track kills Na'Vi has got, I think it's interesting to see how much more XP they're leading by than Gold. Because we saw in the beginning, it's because of the supports in the start. Because they've had so many kills, so many of them have been track, and it's still mainly experience they're leading by. It's because Nature's Prophet is getting a lot of farm, and because the supports are just so hard, out-leveling Virtus.pro supports so hard that that's where the levels are coming from. Level 14 on Enchantress and level 12 on the Visage.
Yeah.
And God... Oh god, not again.
Uh-oh, he's going to be in some trouble here. Track going to come out. They're going to try and pursue. Looks like he does want to port, and he is going to be able to make it out. A close one. We see that Shuriken going to follow him back to the base. Light of Heaven going to try and port out, recognizing that the Shuriken's on cooldown. They'll still have the burst to finish him off, so Nature's Prophet will fall. Visage going to be the one to grab that kill. But on the point of hero levels, you are exactly right about that one, my friend. Unfortunately, both supports for Virtus.pro, the only two stuck in the single digits of levels. Level 8 Ogre Magi, level 9 Crystal Maiden. Really starting to fall behind, and well, we're feeling the effects here as Na'Vi continue to take dominance about the map. 24-12 here at the 24-minute mark, and now that gold lead going to go upwards about a 12,000, but the experience lead still the scariest part, perhaps somewhere around 18,000. And Ag Scepter now going to be out on the Visage, and it should be out on the Enchantress. Yes, indeed, two big item pickups on those supports there.
This is the carry support game. It really is.
Yeah.
I saw someone in chat saying Havost is position 4 in this game, and it's actually true. Until very recently, he had the lowest farm on Na'Vi out of all the heroes by like 1,000. Yep. Now he's in position 4, so he's climbing up the ladder of positions right now. I guess he wants to be position 4. That's kind of what he's known as, but
well,
still,
grab a BKB though. That's good news.
I'm really surprised with Virtus.pro, because now when you're starting to see their strategy unfold, what was the point of the Ogre pick? They have their two carries are getting BKBs, which Bloodlust can't interact with, so why was this Ogre picked instead of something else? Maybe they had another plan along the way and now they're realizing they need BKBs, but that was a really early Ogre pick, considering that, because imagine that top lane with a stronger support than Ogre, perhaps. That would have been... That might have changed a few things.
Venomancer was still in the pool. He was ignored completely in this draft, not banned or picked, so could have been an option for Virtus.pro over that Ogre. We see God invisible here. He is going to move into the trees and play it safe. But, yeah, I mean, even Weaver generally likes to get Lincolns first, but this game felt obligated to grab the BKB, so that negates any sort of synergy with the Bloodlust, as you mentioned. And also, as we talked about in the draft, I still don't like Weaver paired with the Ogre Magi. I think he's one of the worst carries to pair with him because, as you mentioned in the picking phase, Geminate Attack doesn't do much with it, and, well, the Shikuchi already gives him a huge move speed edge, so having that move speed percentage advantage is kind of negligible compared to someone else like a Life Stealer or one of those right-click heroes. We are going to see the Ogre Magi get killed in the mid lane here as he just ventures a bit too far forward, and he's so underleveled, makes for a very easy kill for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and with this kill, I think Na'Vi are going to try to get some more map control. They don't have any wards out right now. Neither team does, in fact. There's no vision on the map. And Na'Vi are in a commanding position right now where they could start warding the enemy jungle and really trying to take control. Of course, there's no gem on Crystal Maiden. Where did that go? Did she lose that a long time ago, or?
That's a good question. Sure Illidan up in the top lane, get a BKB. Oh, that was a close one. Barely going to make it out by the skin of his teeth. And also, I did just see in the top lane, Dendi does have a sheep stick now on the puck, so some more crowd control coming onto the field here for Na'Vi. The gem, I'm trying to recall, I think Arzart was killed in one of the last team fights and it dropped. But yeah, Kuroki going to have the gem now. And whose gem is that? Was that Kuroki's to start?
Yeah, you're right.
That's Arzart's.
So Arzart's gem.
Yeah, it is stolen.
Absolutely right, yeah. So now Na'Vi, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They put an aggressive ward in the enemy jungle, and they start taking more control. And now Puppey can come in and flank God. I think God is just going to jump away from this, but they still get to exert their dominance, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's harder and harder for Virtus.pro to get into their part of the map. And eventually they're going to try and make a mistake, and then Na'Vi will take the bottom tier 2 tower as well. And then their whole map control is gone.
Yep. And Illidan gonna get harassed back by Havost a little bit, but of course we'll be able to Shikuchi away. Looks like he is going to be working towards a Desolator next to follow up that BKB, as he does have another Mithril Hammer. I do like that choice. Right now Virtus.pro really needs some hard-hitting carry action. We're right around that 30-minute mark, and that's where the carries start to take over a bit. And this Weaver, he really does not hit too hard right now. That Mithril Hammer going to help out, but I do like the choice to grab a Desolator here in this match for sure. And Roshan going to be up here. This is second Rosh here at the 27-minute mark as Na'Vi moved into the pit. As Cinderin just mentioned, not a lot of vision about the map for either side, but for Virtus.pro in particular, they've only got one ward down on their plateau in the jungle, so they have absolutely no visual confirmation of Roshan, and going to be a very easy, uncontested kill. Once again, the Aegis going to go the way of Havost on the Luna.
Yeah, and Dendi looking for a Veil. This is something we don't see that often. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be that. I don't see what else he could use this for. There's no point in building a Diffusal Blade this game, and it's way too late for something like a drum for him, so it's gonna be that unless I'm missing some sort of option he has with that.
No, I think Veil is the only smart choice here.
Yeah, it's gotta have to be. Either that or he's building a Refresher Orb, but I doubt it. So yeah, the Veil of Discord, good synergy with his own abilities, obviously. Good synergy with Eclipse, with the Soul Assumption from Visage, and yeah, a little bit overall is pretty good, but doesn't really scale too well with too many things here. But it's still a solid pickup. Actually, he gets the Oblivion Staff. It's an Orchid instead, of course. Why didn't I think of that? It must be an Orchid.
Yeah.
That's a direct item counter to Storm, who has a BKB, but once, or will soon have a BKB, but once that is out, Orchid locks him down. And else there's other targets he can silence with that.
I'm embarrassed. I feel like I should have mentioned Orchid right away. You suggested like Veil, and I got all excited about a puck with a Veil, and that just totally distracted me.
Oh, here we go. Dendi's getting in position. Yep. Nice 3-man silence here. Double coil and jumps out.
All right, so the rest of Na'Vi going to be up here. Now Kuroki going to be in the mix. And Kuroki going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Will burn the mech, but he's actually going to be the first to fall. That'll be it of his dominating streak. Now Puppey going to come around on the backside. Will be able to finish off the Crystal Maiden, but very well may pay for it with his life. No, gets the Nature's Attendance off. Now he's going to turn. God going to fall. Bounty Hunter going to be able to finish him off, and there's the Eclipse from Havost. The Ogre Magi going to fall, and they're going to continue to pursue here, trying to catch the Weaver. He did try to Shikuchi away, but not going to make it. It will end up being a 1-for-4. Kuroki, the only one to fall for Na'Vi, and they do grab 4 kills in exchange. So a nice hold, and now they very well may be able to counter push to a pretty high degree of success, I think.
It's incredible how much in these fights it means that Virtus.pro tried to kill Puppey. It's the same thing basically happened again as in top. Alright, this time it wasn't Puppey baiting 4 heroes, but in the fight they're like, alright, there's this Enchantress running around hitting us. We've got to stop her. And he has 1500 health, level 4 and untouchable, and a heal running, and they just can't bring him down, so they use so much focus fire on a target they can't kill, and then they've used all their mana, and then Puppey's like, spoink, 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 3 impetuses, and gets a kill.
Oh, poor Arzar. It just gets obliterated in the mid lane here. And Havost does still have the Aegis in tow. So with Crystal Maiden dead, Weaver going to be in the grave for another 10 seconds or so. Is going to be an advantage for Na'Vi on the field. God does hop out. That will burn the Aegis on Havost. though maybe what he wanted was very low on mana. He wasn't in a very aggressive position, so I have to figure that was
for an axe.
Yeah, semi-intentional. And wow, he did get Ags, so they are committing to this magic damage here. It's not something you see too often.
Oh, what is it? The upgrade, this is something we see very rarely, but I think that it increases the number of beams, and there's no limit on how many times it can hit a single target. That's
Correct.
it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, add the
limit
duration.
is huge.
I'm not sure what the duration turns into. It's usually 10 seconds of night. I'm not sure what the duration is.
Scepter duration is 6.6 here. That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
12 beams, max hit is 12. So yeah, removes that limit.
Okay, so it's the time during which the eclipse is running, not the night time connected with it. So yeah, it's just running for a little longer because there's more beams, obviously. That's logical. So yeah, I guess this pickup from Havost, I think kind of an experiment here, and also very nice against the Weaver. If he gets hexed out, the number of beams that this guy can get hit by can definitely kill him, and since Na'Vi doesn't need Havost to be a physical damage carry, as they have Enchantress and Bounty doing that already, then oh my god.
Look at these glaives just harassing back Virtus Pro. Bouncing all over the place. Puppey just going to obliterate Arzart once again here. That's going to be an easy mid laner Rax for Na'Vi, and now it's looking like they might be able to seal the deal. That gold graph really scary, upwards of 25,000. Experience graph even worse, somewhere around 33, 34k. Na'Vi with just an insurmountable lead at this point, I think. They are going to continue pressing forward. No glyph available for Virtus Pro. And this top tier 3 going to fall pretty quickly, but God's here. He is going to hop in. BKB going to be used. He wants to go in on Puppey. There's the ult from Luna. That'll be enough to finish off the Ogre. Now God, maybe in a little bit of trouble, has the BKB on. And, well, Eclipse going to be enough to secure the kill on the Ogre. And Virtus Pro, although only conceding one death, will be forced back to the well. That's the end of their top tier 3. And this Rack's going to take a lot of damage. Somehow Visage did snag a kill. Oh, that's down here in the bottom. Oh, God, pardon me. I was tunnel visioning on the top. A little bit of Rat Dota coming out here as Nature's Prophet was pressuring the bottom lane. Did take out the tier 3. Luna actually going to be able to finish off Weaver here. And that's the end of the top lane of Barracks. So Visage does secure the base. They did lose the bottom lane of melee Rax. Ranged Rax going to fall shortly after, but still Na'Vi going to find the better of it. Nature's Prophet, the only one left alive in the well, and they're actually going to dive it.
On Havost.
Oh my.
They're just playing around. Refresher on Havost and Abyssal Blade on Funnick.
Yep.
Oh wow. Look at that.
Wow, yeah, there it is. So Na'Vi feeling very confident here, no doubt. Funnick trying to port out, not going to make it. He will fall, but still, 2 lanes of Rax in exchange for 1. I guess there's the smallest bit of hope for Virtus Pro here as they did take out that bottom lane of Rax, but Na'Vi going to be able to just regroup, reset those cooldowns, and pressure this bottom lane. Havost did just buy back, actually, as did the Weaver, and as did the Nature's Prophet. So 3 buybacks used, and of course Refresher going to be on cooldown here for another 2 minutes.
I'm actually not sure about this. I don't know if you know that, but it's so long ago that I've last seen a Refresher on Luna that I'm not sure if you can have 2 Eclipses running at the same time or if the second one overlaps the first. I'm gonna assume it overlaps, but I would love it if it doesn't and Havost goes in, like Razor with his 2 ultimates running, if Luna was the same and just Eclipses flying all over the place, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he has to use one and then use the second. Yes. That would actually be a lot
I would agree with the latter. I can't imagine that they stack sort of simultaneously. That would be... If that were the case, I think we would see this Og's Refresher build maybe on more occasions, because that just sounds like an absurd amount of burst damage. But, oh, Havost might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to clear out a double stack of Ancients, a smoke from Virtus Pro. Going to wrap their way around. They are on the low ground. They don't have vision. Oh, maybe they do. God going to hop forward here. Now Havost in big trouble. Does have a BKB available. Not even going to get a chance to burn it. They'll have the crowd control to lock him down before he can pop that magic immunity. And that's going to be a free kill on the Luna. Now, he did buy back, so he's going to be in the grave for another 90 seconds, and absolutely nothing that he can do about it. Though, on the flip side, when he pops up, he will have that Refresher Orb available for the double Eclipse.
Yeah, I hope we get to see that. We've had... The last time he used the Refresher was kind of long after the first one. I would like to see them use directly in succession, just to see, like... It's actually surprisingly long. How long time that's going to take to get all the beams off.
Yeah, it is. It's a good 12 seconds. It's at least, I'll let you a little bit more, 13 seconds or so. So they do commit.
This is a Hail Mary
yeah.
from BP.
They do commit a bit on the Weaver. It is a 4-man Hail Mary here from Virtus Pro. Necronomicon going to get popped, and they're just going to go for the tier 4s, not even going for the mid lane, just trying to end this game if possible. They will force out the glyph from Na'Vi, and everyone from Na'Vi will make it back to the base. Well, everyone except the Bounty Hunter, it looks like. And now Arzart in a little bit of trouble here. is going to be the one left behind. He'll fall. God going to be able to ball lightning away. And it looks like Light of Heaven going to be able to make it out as well. He does have that bloodlust.
Maybe Dendy might blink hex this.
Uh-oh, Dendy going to come forward. He's going to find him. Is he going to interrupt him in time? He does, just at that last second. Going to be able to turn him into a little piggy. And now Light of Heaven going to be in big trouble. We see Funnick coming around. Going to go ahead and use that E-Blade just for good measure. And that'll be the end of the Nature's Prophet. So Na'Vi will hold that bit of all-in. Maybe not an all-in. That's kind of a misnomer. But they will hold the Hail Mary, to steal your term. And, well, Havos going to be popping up in just a moment. Now things going to be a little bit more difficult for Virtus Pro. Uh-oh, Illidan in the mid. He is going to press forward. Shikuchi going to wear off. Dendy going to hop forward. Funnick looking for an opportunity to try and grab that track. And Illidan going to survive. Dendy going to guess wrong.
He has a blink dagger on Bounty as well, but he blinked the wrong way.
Oh, he does have a blink. Oh, my. What a strange game.
This is one of the more creative builds we've seen on Bounty Hunter. We were only lacking the Battle Fury instead of the Linkens. Then we would have been all weird mode.
Yes, the Battle Fury. Ah, yes.
Navi's having some fun here. They're really far ahead.
Yeah, look at that. 30,000 gold,
the game
maybe 40,000 experience or so. Yeah, going to be hard to throw at this point. Just look at that net worth chart. That is a lot of red floating towards the top.
Here's the puppy bait again. Let's see if it works.
Oh,
they actually bring him down really fast here.
Yeah, puppy going to fall. He will buy back to try to get back in the fight. Now this engage going to commence. Storm Spirit going to fall. The Sheep Stick as well as the Eclipse comes out. The Dream Coil going to catch Arzard and Light of Heaven. There it is. That double Eclipse going to secure some easy kills here. And they're going to continue to pursue. Now JOTM. Yeah, he's going to get dropped like he's hot. Down he goes. Bottom tier 2 going to fall, and now I think we could be moments from the GG. Buybacks looking very grim here for Virtus Pro.
And Na'Vi trying to backdoor the tier 2. Funnick blinking one of the tower shots to evade it. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
I don't think Virtus Pro is having such a good time right now. They're probably going to lose the game right now.
Yeah.
Although the respawn times of the heroes are so low. We're 40 minutes in and they're almost out again because they're level 11 to 15.
Yeah. Na'Vi gonna forget about that tier 2 in the bottom. Ain't nobody got time for that. They're going straight for the tier 4s. Glyph comes out for Virtus Pro to buy him a few seconds. It's just Weaver and Crystal Maiden. They are the lone defenders right now. Oh, there's the buyback from JOTM, but Bounty Hunter going to be able to finish off the CM. Illidan with the BKB on will poke out, but those Visage Familiars chipping away at him. Havos just, well, we're doing some work on those tier 4 towers. One remaining, and it is going to go down momentarily here. God is back up. It is a 5v4 on the field. Funnick going to get crowd controlled. Funnick may fall right here. Down he goes. God going to hop forward to finish him off, but Ogre Magi going to go down as well. The Ancient is exposed, and Illidan not going to be able to make it back to the well. Puppy going to get an impetus to finish him off. Creeps come in, and there it is. The GG's fly. Na'Vi take a pretty convincing win over Virtus Pro, 46-20 after 38 minutes of gameplay. An interesting match, but Na'Vi going to prove to be the victors.
A very, very entertaining game, I have to say. This had some stuff we don't see every day, so absolutely love it. And yeah, props to Virtus Pro for actually staying in the game for as long as they did, considering the start they had. But in the end, not enough against the advantage Na'Vi had built up in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting to see the God versus Havost, who can avoid death more so. And unfortunately, God did not come out the victor of that battle, ending 3-12-9 on that Storm Spirit. Very A-characteristic for God, but as we mentioned earlier on, Na'Vi just did such a great job keeping him down. They set up 3 kills on him before he was even able to hit level 6. Very, very well done, and that momentum allowed them to carry on into a successful mid-game and eventually a successful late game here at the 38-minute mark. That was our halfway point here, guys. Game 3 now in the books. We've got 3 more coming at you live here on Beyond the Summit for our Starladder Season 8 Day 17 coverage. Again, I am Zyori. With me is Cinder, and thank you so much for joining us, folks. Plenty more Dota coming your way after this short break.